Basically infatuated with the in-between, the ups and downs, the curves and the rounds. I'll bring it to your city or your hometown. I'll go back in time when the feeling was fine, when funkin' was legal and it wasn't a crime. Party people lined up and down the way, a bigger celebration than your birthday. Funkin' up the neighborhood, I felt the fool cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt the fool cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. And I have seen the world pristine, funk you up in the bushes, funk you down in the trees. Now look around, all the frowns, the yellow, the white, the red and the brown. And keep in mind, it never costs a dime, cause funkin' is free, I remember the time. Now look today, the streets are gray, time to take it back to yesterday. Funkin' up the neighborhood, I felt the fool cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt the fool cause the funkin' was good. It was good in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood, I felt full cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood.
And we're live! And Steve, we have our guest face up front. Hang on a second here. You guys are getting a surprise. Surprise. Oh, I gotta unlock it. Hang on. Oh, no, that's the wrong face.
Hey, Stevie, you just move your mouth and I'll talk, all right?
Guy,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I'm Stevie Dave.
Guys, what are we
Stevie
doing?
Dave, here's you live. Oh, now it's just you, West. Wait a
Remember
minute,
all the
I'm on
work I
wrong
did
page.
to set these scenes up so we wouldn't be fumbling at the beginning of the show? Well, welcome to the Underdog Journey. I'm West. This guy is Stevie Evans, otherwise known as David Leffingwell. And
I'm David.
between the two of us, one of us might know what we're doing.
I'm going to go with a negative on that one, Ghost Rider. The pattern is full.
Exactly. Oh, man. So
We do have Stevie with us tonight.
we do have Stevie.
And Stevie is going to give us an update. We got him for about 15 minutes, so we're going to do a real quick opening.
Yep.
Real quick. I know you've got a couple tidbits of news, and then I met a couple guys earlier this week who are wanting to launch a podcast, and I promised them, I said, you know what? We're going to go back in the archives. We're going to dust off some of the stuff that we've talked to you guys about in the past, and we're going to rehash. Oh, and that's me smacking the television. What the hell is this thing called? Laptop, this MacBook with the microphone here. It's all kinds of classy over here. I'm utilizing the ice bucket.
Yeah.
Get the laptop up so that the camera's in the right spot.
Hey, look, the camera can't see it. It doesn't exist. That's the old rule.
It's floating on clouds over here.
There you go.
I was going to say some supermodel, but any supermodel that I would remember has got to be 60 years old. God, I'm old.
David, so it seems like you've been at it for a while. So, to priorities, what are you drinking tonight?
That's why I was going to ask you that. But I've got this here empty glass. That's called lensing, by the way. I've got 4. Count them.
4.
I've got and this is all from a brewery up here in New England because I'm back up in the Boston area. I mean, that should come as no surprise to anybody. I practically live up here. Blood Orange Wheat. This is the Blood Orange Wheat beer. I say wheat beer.
Wheat.
Yes. So, and yes, I have been watching a lot more Family Guy. And no, I do not intend on stopping. Also, again, they're all Jack Sabby. This is their house lager beer, which, even the way it's spelt and the little crosshatches they got on it makes me think it's a pretty good Bavarian style. I don't know anything about it, but we're testing out, and I don't know which one I'm going to go for first. So those are the two. And then we got a Pilsner. We've got it's called a post-shift Pilsner. IBUs are 30.
Nice.
It's only 4.7, which is, about standard for a good Pilsner. I'm not talking.
A Pilsner's a nice light beer. It's not supposed to be super. Yeah, I get it.
It's not supposed to be heavy in any range. And that's actually a little heavy for a Pilsner. And then we've got this one right here, and I'm just taking a stab in the dark and saying this is going to be my least favorite one.
Oh.
It's called the Hoponius Union. So it is.
I'm surprised. Yeah.
It is a hoppy lager, which I believe will taste like PBR. It
probably won't be as hoppy. I don't know what the IBUs are on that, but it probably won't be as hoppy as like an IPA. But
65.
All right. I mean, well, it might be on the IPA range then. There you go. That's it's named
so
well.
that one there. So I'm gonna get nice and I'm gonna go with the word lubricated before I get to that one.
I don't want to see any of that. I don't want to see any of that.
David, see a lubricated in a hotel room.
Nope. This is not that kind of podcast, David. When we just lost our guest, he's gone. Stevie's gone.
He's gone. I think I'm gonna start with a lager because I love to judge every brewery by its lager.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a fair assessment of anybody who's going to try to really brew beer. Your lager is the one that is the calling card. That's going to tell what kind of brewer you have, how clean they are, and kind of what kind of dedication they have to the craft.
True.
So that's what I will be drinking this evening.
Yeah.
What shall you be imbibing?
Yeah, so as you know, my current wife actually got me BrewDog's Advent calendar of beers for Christmas. So the point is every day you open a different BrewDog beer, and they have some that are exclusive only to that box. You can't get them anyplace else, like super small batch. And
you got it. Every one of these for the podcast, right?
Yeah.
You were telling me before the show.
Right. So I'm saving all of them for the podcast. I actually got it for Christmas. So by the time Christmas came along, I couldn't naturally follow the progression of the days on the Advent calendar. So I'm going to drink them all in here. So I'm actually starting out with one of my all-time favorite beers, BrewDog's Elvis Juice. This is a great beer.
Oh.
I'm not an IPA guy, but this is a grapefruit-infused IPA, which it just hits the spot. It is just one of the perfect beers for it.
I get excited because up in New York it's not as prevalent. Like Central Ohio, you can get BrewDog at a freaking gas station.
Right.
I'm having problems finding them even in I love the branching out bottle shop I talk about all the time down there. They don't get them in there. It's really they'll get a BrewDog occasionally, and they go fast.
Yeah. Oh,
it's hard. So when I find them, I'm all over. But I got to tell you right now, a Elvis Juice beer does sound really, really good.
Look, David, that's why I keep telling you, we need to start a brewery we need to start a craft brewery in upstate New York. We're gonna make this happen. So,
all right, wait, we gotta take a look here. Look at this, guys.
Nice.
No, look at that. Look, I'm gonna put it in front of my face. This is a lager.
Ooh, that's unfiltered.
That is.
I like it. So it's an unfiltered lager, nice and cloudy.
And look, the head fell off of it really quick, so the water quality they use is probably not that high.
Okay.
Screw all that. It's actually quite a delicious tasting beer.
I was going to say, I typically like an unfiltered lager. That's there you go.
I think they could have, if they had better water just in general, I think it would improve the beer. But what they're doing is working. It's good stuff. So Jack Savvy, good for you, man.
Yeah.
When I poured it, I had very low expectations of that beer.
So after my, I'm going to go through these real quick though. Not a full explanation like Mr. Beer Snob over there. Next up, I have Hazy Jane Peach, which Hazy Jane is also an IPA, but I'm gonna give it a shot. I haven't had their peach yet, so I've heard good things.
I don't know if peach does peach classify as a citrus?
Peach is not a citrus.
Okay.
Peach
what the hell's a peach?
Peach is it's a different classification of fruit.
It's something that people in a southern church say. Oh, she's such a peach.
It's whatever those pit fruit fall into. I know you got some kind of joke tied up with that. After that, we're gonna go into BrewDog's Hoppy Christmas, which is their Christmas IPA. So apparently, I got an IPA thing going here. However, here's what I'm excited for. I'm excited for this last one. For dessert, I'm gonna have the Headless Honcho, which is their horchata stout. I love horchata and I love stouts. This is good.
I don't know what a horchata is. But the word stout, I am finding myself now. I am in the strange category, but I don't mind a stout or a porter, either one of them.
Okay.
But I want very low coffee flavor. I am not a coffee drinker.
Love a coffee stout.
I know, and most people do. Most, of course, apparently, like a lot of you weirdos, you get up in the morning and they drink coffee. I get up in the morning and I have water. I don't know how you guys do it. I don't know how you live on that stuff. It's crazy.
I put coffee in everything. My protein shakes have coffee in them. I love coffee.
If I can't talk about, never mind. We're just gonna let that go. Stevie, how are you doing this evening? No, wait a minute. We got a couple news tidbits.
You know what? We've been going a while. We'll touch on this news later if we got time.
Yeah, we got time. That's
right.
Yeah,
let's get to our guest. Because he's been waiting.
Because Stevie over there.
This guy right here.
Yeah, Stevie. We're pointing at you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wave to the camera, Stevie. Wave to the camera. Wait, there you go. That's him. I just wanted to make sure everybody knew who Stevie was. That's all.
This is Stevie Evans. He is the founder and owner of Big Bentley's Pet Supply Company. We've had him on as a guest before, and super excited to have you back.
Oh, appreciate it.
He has been one of the from our channel here. He has been one of the big go-getters out there, and just says, "I have a goal." He's a dog with a bone. You throw the bone, the dog's going after it, not the underdog bones. You can get the underdog bones. But Stevie's out there busting it, and he said, you know what, can I give an update? And we're like, hell yeah, I'd love to get an update. So Stevie, what have you been doing?
Well, actually a lot. Just like on the personal side, we've got another baby on the way. Baby, thank you. The baby is due in June, so we're super excited about that.
This is free for you, right?
Yeah.
You know what cause is that, right? You need to stop.
Hey, by the way, just so you know, once you're outnumbered by kids, it's all over. You realize?
Yeah.
I've been seeing this thing on the Book of Faces going around here just this past week. It says one kid's one kid, 2 kids is double the work. It's 2 kids, 3 kids is 15.
Dang.
Good luck with that, Stevie.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, we got that going on. I'm in the middle of a home renovation right now, which is pretty crazy. We're adding on another bedroom, bathroom, closet space. So we're in the middle of that right now. But on the business side, I've had a few developments that I wanted to share with you guys, because we're kind of, I feel like I'm kind of ramping up now, and getting to where, again, once I get to a certain level, you guys won't even be able to speak to me. No, I'm just kidding.
You'd be way out of our league. I know.
I will tell you right now, I would be proud as hell for you to get so high and so up there that we weren't able to contact you and get a hold of you.
Right.
Well, dude,
that would kick ass. I am truly and utterly one of those people that really loves to cheer, and I want to see there's a very short list, and Wes knows most of the people on that list for me. It's very short, and they've done a lot of work to get on that list, but everybody else in the world, I'm cheering for. So go for it. Man, I'll pull it for you, bud.
I appreciate it. But okay, so the first thing I wanted to share with you guys is I've became an official vendor at Southern States. So
yeah, we talked about you were working on that.
Right. So I had a little bit of inventory in the store. I sold all the inventory, and I got an email from them, and they said, "Hey, I know we were doing more of a consignment deal. We're out of stock, but we would love to get you in the system and go ahead and make you an official vendor." So yeah. So, and actually, because of that, now I get to put both of my products in the store. So, they had my stain remover, sold all those. So now I got my urine destroyer in there alongside it, and now I have the opportunity to sell both of them. And also, the good thing is I got paid.
Even better, man. Even better.
Right.
So the picture that you put on your Instagram of that display, that end cap display, you got a whole end cap to yourself, just loaded with your product, and it looks great.
Yeah, hold on. Well, yeah, but okay, that's not Southern States.
No, I'm sorry. No, that was the other one. I'm sorry. I done there.
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it for me.
All right. No, I'll let you break the news.
Okay. So that's the first thing
keep your mouth shut
about Southern States. Now, well, yeah, don't bring me on as Dave or anything like that. No, I'm just kidding.
See, look, technical issues.
That's good stuff.
Okay, so the next update is I've got the opportunity to be in 2 Feeder's Pet Supply locations. So now Feeder's Pet Supply they're based out of Louisville, Kentucky. It's where their first store was back in I believe 1959. So they are a Kentucky-based company, but they've expanded tremendously.
We have them here.
Yeah, exactly. So they have them all over the place in Kentucky. There's at least 35 locations in Kentucky. They've got I think 10 in Ohio, and then they've got another handful in the Indiana area. But not only that, they also have another brand. So they're 2 companies who kind of merged, and they've got one CEO, and that's Chowhound Supplies.
Okay.
So so basically, what could happen here is I would have the opportunity to have my product in 50 plus locations.
That's amazing.
Yes, and that would, and I did the math on it. So if I can just sell 5 spray bottles a month or a week, that's 20 spray bottles a month times 53.
Yeah.
That'll put me at about 1,000 units a month. That's perfect.
That is awesome, man. And kind of jump the gun and saying is that end cap that you got a whole end cap just for your product.
Yes.
That looks great.
Thank you. And it's like that in both the locations. So the first location is at it's on Harrodsburg Road. So it's in Lexington on Harrodsburg. They actually have 3 other locations in Lexington. So if everything goes well, I'll have the opportunity to be in the rest of the locations in a very close proximity.
Wow.
So that'd be amazing. And okay, so let me tell you about how this came about, because I know you guys are big marketing guys and all that. So I basically, Wes. Both of you guys.
I'm the sales and business management guy.
Okay.
Wes is the marketing guy. I just when he says an idea, the sales guy always goes, "Man, that's great. I can sell that."
You're right.
And we go make it happen.
Hey, David, just so you know, David, you need to back up from your microphone just a little bit. You're a little tinny.
I just changed the settings there. I did get the notice there, and I happened to notice that somehow, maybe in all the transport of this mic, the gain was absolutely cranked.
Yeah, your gain is cranked right now. You sound like you're on old-time radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, brought to you in part by Stevie Evans, Big Bentley's Pet Supplies. Big Bentley's Pet Supplies for all your pet supply and urine destroyer needs.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it.
So yeah, tell us how about.
You give me a chance to use my announcer voice, and I'll do it.
No, turn down the gain.
I got you.
It's down. Am I going the wrong way? Can you hear me?
Oh, it sounds worse now.
Oh, that must be the other way then. All right. There. How's that?
That's much better. Yeah.
Better, yeah. Okay.
All right.
So how this came about.
Go ahead.
How this came about. So I'm big on LinkedIn. Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people overlook it. Like people I talk to that we just have regular jobs, you know, they don't really understand the importance of LinkedIn. Even if you're not an entrepreneur like myself, even finding another job, like something that you might want to do, you might be interested in, you can actually make a profile and you can like be able to search for jobs that are relevant to what you want to go into and have the opportunity to connect with the right people to get you an interview or whatever. So I'm a big proponent of LinkedIn. So what I did is I started following the CEO of Feeder's Pet Supply. And, you know, I was seeing his posts and stuff, you know, every month they're opening up a new location. This year, they're actually opening up a location in Winchester, Kentucky, where I'm at. So this would be what amazing, you know, especially if I can stick around to get the opportunity to be in that store. Yeah. So I just shot him a message. It really short, really simple. I said,
Stevie, Stevie, before we get into the message, okay, before you get into the message, I have to point out something. Mr. Wes Carnahan has been preaching the power of LinkedIn.
I love for
since we started this podcast and well before of the connections and power. And there are times when he said, Dave, I should not have a direct path to this person.
Yeah.
But I do because of LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So just to show you out there, for the people who are like, well, that's just a social, because I'm an old fuddle dud. And I'm like, well, I'd rather go knock on the door and shake their hands. But guess what? I'm probably going to get caught at the door if they have a good gatekeeper, which they should. And it's going to take me a long time to break that down. But you've got something that's going right to the inbox and available to you. And now we're getting ready to go to the story of how something like that has translated to actual progress.
Absolutely.
So, Stevie, sorry to interrupt you. I had to put it out there because it's been something that Wes has been adamant about. What did you send him? What was the email, the message that you sent over to him?
So I sent the message. It's real short, real sweet. I didn't want to feel like that he was getting spammed because I feel like a lot of people make that mistake too. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to shoot this long message and then it looks like I'm trying to sell him something or whatever. Right. And he'll just disregard it. So I said, oh, go ahead.
No, I'm saying bye.
Right, exactly. So what I said is hello, I'm Steve Evans, owner of Big Bentley's Pet Supply.
Yep.
I have some products that would look great in your store. And that's it. That's it. That's all I said. Now, the crazy thing about it is it took them 2 months to respond.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just for everybody out there, I respond to almost every message on LinkedIn. It takes me about 2 to 3 months to go. Holy crap. We got to go back in time. Stevie, what are you drinking tonight?
Yeah.
Well, I actually had this in the fridge, and I know how you guys like to do it. So I've got nothing super fancy.
Oh, Blue Moon.
Blue Moon's great.
Hey, that's a Belgian white.
Yes.
I mean,
it's my go-to. I love it.
Now, are you an orange slice person or not?
What is it?
Are you an orange slice person or no?
If I'm in a restaurant, yes.
There you go.
I want to keep the fruit salad.
No,
I'm just looking for
Blue
beer.
Moon's a great beer. It's an easy drink. I like it.
Yes, I absolutely love it, and it only takes like 4 of them, and I'm doing pretty good.
That's good. All right, I'm glad we cleared that up because once I see that he had a bottle there, I'm like, all right, my brain is not going to go until we know what he's drinking.
Totally.
But
Stevie, coming up soon, we need to do a LinkedIn show. Just talking about the power of LinkedIn. If you have any kind of business or career aspirations at all, and bring you on to tell the story, because you're absolutely right. I mean, that was the perfect way to do it. Because
I'm sorry, but that's really, honestly, that's just one thing that I did that actually like turned into something like tangible. But I've had several other conversations with not like at the CEO level, but at the manager level that's actually passed off my product for me.
Oh, nice.
So yeah. So the genesis of this was that about 2 months before he responded, I got a hold of a store manager in Louisville, Kentucky. She was like, "Oh yeah, our senior category manager is so and so." And I was like, she's like, "I'll have a meeting with her in a couple weeks. If you'll mail me the package, I can hand deliver it to her." I was like, "Great." So I actually
I'll put 2 stamps on that.
What is it?
So I'll put 2 stamps on that. We'll ship it out right now.
Exactly, and it was shipped out.
Yeah, no delay. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. So, but I think what did it is the reason that he actually responded was he had recently made a post. The CEO, his name's Brandon Dixon. He was actually the CEO of Party City prior to joining Pet Supplies Plus.
See, I know that name, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I didn't really know about him. I did a little research, prior. So he messaged me back, and then when he messaged me, he said, "Hey Stevie, I see you're in the Winchester area, so it's fairly local. Would you be available to do a face-to-face meeting / demonstration of your product?" And I was like, "Yeah." So and so he gave me 2 dates. He said you can either come Monday, which was the next day, or you can come on Wednesday. And I was like, man, I kind of want to go the first day available to kind of show him I'm serious, but I wasn't ready. Like I wasn't really prepared to do like a demonstration. So what I did was that day I left work and went down to a place called Carpet One. They sell all kinds of carpet, rugs, area rugs, right. It's on New Circle Road. So I walked in there and said, "Hey, I would really like it if you guys could sell me a couple pieces of sample carpet, And he was like, "Yeah, go over there." He's like, "There's a pile of them. Just grab as many as you want and whatever." So I took about 3 or 4 of them and went up to the desk. He said, "No, just you go ahead and take it." And he said, if you don't get the job, he thought I was like a carpet cleaning business, which I technically am.
Yeah.
But he was like, "So if you get to the job and you can't clean the carpet, just tell them where to go to get the carpet."
That's awesome.
I don't know this guy from Carpet Town, USA, or whatever it was, but I like him. Yes. I like the way he thinks.
Yes. So he hooked me up. So then what I did is I was thinking like, what is going to be the most effective way to showcase the product? And so what I did, I came home, I took a piece of the carpet square, and I made a jelly stain in it. And because that, it's super sticky, it's really dark, and I put it was on like a plaid piece of carpet. So it had some whites in it, some greens, and some different stuff. So I just followed the instructions. And if you go to my Facebook page, it's kind of down there. I post quite a bit, but I actually made a post about the actual the demonstration. But I sprayed it on there. I let it sit. I put a weighted object on it, and then it dissolved it. The stain was gone. So I was like, that's great. And also, the carpet, it was like 90% wool. So wool is very hard to clean. It's not like regular carpet fibers, Well,
there's a reason why we use wool in clothing, and
right.
It's warm, but it also takes dyes very well.
Yeah.
It's right. So, and that's why Wes always has an overshirt on, is because he likes to rock the wool.
Yeah. Yep.
He's usually got a cardigan. Now, funny story. This is absolutely a side story.
I don't think my current wife is watching, so it's safe to tell this story.
Funny story is we're setting at a undisclosed location, brick and mortar location, and we're going to call this young lady. We're going to call her Inebriated One, right? So Inebriated One is chit-chatting, being her boyfriend, husband, or whatever there, and just having this good conversation. And apparently she just falls in love with West's cardigan.
Just the sweater.
Just the sweater. She really didn't, I don't think she could have seen any of us, to be honest.
Yeah.
Back to the Inebriated One. But she liked his sweater, and she made at least 10 offers to buy that sweater.
Really wanted to buy that sweater. And I was tempted. I was tempted.
Gosh. It was a good time.
But it was cold that night.
Yeah, you gotta have it.
He did say that, and then he had to explain to his wife how he sold his clothes to some random woman in a bar.
That's true.
Right.
Some random drunk lady bought my clothes. What can I say?
Yes, I mean, lady, wife, I'm a businessman.
Right.
Got to make that sale.
Okay. So all right. So after I did that with the carpet, I wanted to do something else. So I went to Walmart and I bought some doe piss. Okay.
Okay. Sure.
Very, very musky.
Hold on.
Walmart is known for their urine collection. I get it.
Yeah.
Well, not just that. It's just that we've got a lot of people now. If we were to, and we should get you and the Outdoor Life group on at the same time. But for our crew, they might not know this, but doe pee is used during hunting to attract bucks.
Yes.
So it is, and a lot of it's really refined and very, 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 very freaking potent.
Very.
Yes.
Also, more proof that animals are weird.
We are animals, so I'm going to check that box as yes, and I am absolutely weird. I get it. I know it. I embrace it. But for those people who don't understand when he's talking about doe pee, that's what it's used for. Yeah. So we're talking about something that is very, 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 very potent.
Something that you don't typically want to spill on your carpet at home.
Right, exactly. So now I wasn't going to use the doe pee for carpet, so I had another visual aid to kind of show what the product could do. Mm-hmm. So what I did is I went to the local Pizza Hut and I asked for some marinara containers, like the little sauce cups, Mm-hmm. So I got the doe pee, I got tuna, and I got chicken. Ooh. Okay, so 3 of the
okay.
So hear me out here. So what I did is I took the contents and I put them on a plate.
Okay.
Then I covered the contents that was on the plate with the sauce cup. Okay. Now what that does is the smell fills the headspace inside the cup. Yeah. Okay. So when you remove it and let somebody smell it, you can smell whatever it was under. Okay.
Okay. I'm guessing you did
this
in your house.
Huh?
I'm hoping you didn't do this in your house.
I absolutely did. You have to do what you got to do.
So your ex-wife, how did she take this?
Hey, she was actually fine with it, and I'm glad because I've got to do what I got to do.
You're doing it. I love it. And
I've got to get diapers. I got to get Pampers out here. So because it's effective. It's an effective exercise. Like when you're showcasing something. Mm-hmm. So especially like me, I'm claiming to get rid of odors and stains and all that stuff. So I can go up and clean a piece of carpet. But another good demonstration is after you fill that headspace with that odor, you let the participants smell it if they're willing, then you spray the product inside it, and that it eliminates the odor. And then you let them smell it afterward, and then they see that the fish smell, the tuna smell, the doe pea smell, and everything is gone. And it's just a very effective demonstration for what I'm trying to do. Mm-hmm. Now, I didn't have the headset and everything, but it actually felt like Shark Tank. Like it really
that's did. Awesome. Like, that's cool.
Yeah, I felt like I was on Shark Tank doing it. So it took about an hour. It was the CEO of Feeder Supply and the senior category manager. Mm-hmm. And it like I said, it lasted about an hour. And then when it was over, they said, all right, look, we're gonna give you a shot here. We'll put you in 2 locations that's nearest to you, make it easier for you to get your product to it, and you can set it up and do all that stuff. And we'll see how you do after a month.
That is.
So, where are you in that process now? How far into that month are you?
Okay, it started in the first location. It started December 27th.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, and the other store it started December 28th, so the next day. Okay. Now I don't know how many I don't know how many units I've moved yet. I'm supposed to receive a sales report from the CEO in a couple days. Okay. Along with some other stuff. So I will say that after I set up my display in the first location on Harrisburg Road, somebody walked by and picked up a bottle and bought it right there.
Oh, that's cool.
So I was like, hey, I'll take it.
Absolutely. That's a great thought.
So in my house, I bought a new house, or not a new. I bought a house up in Syracuse, New York, and the people who lived there before had dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Our dog will, unless she has, we're drowning her with water, she doesn't have accidents in the house. Yeah. The previous owners weren't quite so controlled with their dog. So, but I've carpet cleaned, I've done everything.
Mm-hmm.
And there are still a couple spots that I just can't shift. And if I was to walk by Big Bentley's Pet Supply urine destroyer, I'm buying that.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm buying that because I love to get those spots out of my carpet.
Well, and so one thing about my product is it's actually twice the strength what a normal one would be. Mm-hmm. Now, you might say, well, how do you know that? How do you know it's twice the strength? Well, I've talked to the main, okay, there's like 2 companies in the United States who produce enzymes, okay? I'm not going to say who they are right now. We could talk about that another time. Like,
might know one of them.
But I know who they are. And I personally spoke to them, and most of the cleaners out there are diluted 20 to 30 to 1. So you have for every 30 ounces of water, mm-hmm. you're basically going to have, it'll be 1 ounce of the whatever cleaning solution.
Yeah, mm-hmm. So 1 ounce of their concentrate.
Right, exactly. But mine intentionally is 10 to 1. Okay, so that means that you're going to get, for every 10 ounces, you're going to get 1 ounce of the cleaning solution. So for a 32 ounce bottle, you're getting a big boost, like in the actual solution. And I do that intentionally, and I promote that I do make it in small batches, because I'm not like Nature's Miracle. They're making this stuff in some factory somewhere in Pennsylvania, and it's in a 200-gallon barrel, mm-hmm. and they're pumping this stuff out. Mine is a very small. Mine's like small batch Kentucky bourbon, so it's very good and it's very potent.
Well, look, Steve, you're writing your own commercials right here, and you know what I'm thinking about is I have in my head all of those laundry detergent commercials where they'll say ours is you need this much to wash a whole load, and theirs is diluted and you need X. So I mean you're saying the exact same thing that big marketing companies are saying about their clients. You need to make a couple of like infomercials, right? I would make like a very short one up to 10, 15 minutes long, and post these things everywhere.
Right. Yeah. And that's something that I am really, really working on right now. So I just started this new job, which it works like a 2-2-3. So, you work 2, you're off 2, you work 3, you're off 2. And so every other weekend you're off. So I've got availability now throughout the week where I can get some of this stuff done, as opposed to working like the traditional schedule. Mm-hmm. Now I do have to work a 12-hour shift, but at the same time, you got to do what you got to do. Hey. So, but yeah, so that's the next phase. I'm going to run a radio ad. It's going to run in Lexington, Winchester, and Mount Sterling.
Un momento es por favor, señores and señoritas. Does your avatar listen to the radio for their information. The idea being is if you're going to spend money on radio ads, are you spending money on the best platform to reach your avatar?
Well, that's a fair.
And we have told you this over and over, and I cannot. When it was first approached to me, Mr. West over there bringing it to me about an avatar, I was like, ha, blue people, ha, Aang the Airbender, and that was the idea. I laughed at it and joked at it, and then as I started breaking it down, I was like, holy crap, I do this all the time. I had no idea what it was called. And then how important and how in depth it can go. So one of the things just for you, sit down, draw your avatar. Is your avatar listening to the radio? Is local, and I'm going to use this word, I hate to do this because it's a business buzzword, terrestrial radio, is that where they're going to be? Or are they going to be on streaming platforms such as Apple Music, or Amazon Music, things like that, where you can get the free versions of them, or Pandora, which is huge, and throw it on there for about the same price. And you, instead of hitting, let's say out of 100, you hit 10 on terrestrial radio, out of 100, you may hit 90 on something like streaming platform services.
Right, right.
So take a look at your avatar, refine it, and go back. And if you still think like, hey, this is what I want to do, this is the route I want to take, good for you, have at it. We'll be cheering you on all the way. But definitely take a second look at that avatar.
Yeah, absolutely. So
we've got wait. We got important business to handle right now.
We have
the young ones have come down to say goodnight.
Our live studio audience here. Your brother.
One of my highlights of the week is because they come down and say goodnight, and they usually say goodnight, Dave. And I absolutely love it. So
here's the other one. Here he is. Oh, he has a nice another demon spider picture to share with you.
Oh, we got a new spider picture.
Around so they can see.
For everybody out there, this kid is infatuated with some of the scariest creatures known to. Holy crap! Look at this thing. He's like, oh, look at this cute and cuddly thing that'll kill you in a half a second.
Oh yeah. So tell him about the picture you have here.
I'm gonna name you Hagrid.
Actually, it's not Hagrid. It's a little bit bigger.
So he said it's a little bit bigger than Aragog. And
Aragog,
tell me all the red marks you drew on there.
The red marks.
Hold it down.
The red marks.
Pull the picture down so they can hear you. No, there you go. Now they can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, but the red marks are the blood on everything. But the red marks on the spider, those are its red spots.
There's blood everywhere because what kind of animal did it consume?
The deer.
It ate a deer.
A whole deer. That deer sacrificed its urine for Stevie to run his test, and then that spider, Super Aragog, devoured it.
He took this to school to show all of his friends.
And also,
and later tonight, you get all the phone calls from the parents who the kids can't sleep.
Exactly.
What's the leg?
There's its leg. It left part of the leg and one of the antlers. So and Catherine's been sick for a couple of days, so we're kind of nursing her back to health.
And it has a crown on it.
A crown? Oh, he's a king spider.
Oh, it's a king spider.
I added a crown.
Catherine, have you eaten enough chicken noodle soup?
Sure.
And also, he can knock down trees.
He can knock down trees.
With a kick of its leg.
That's pretty powerful. Hey, can you say goodnight to the guys?
Night.
Night.
Good. I hope you feel better, Caddy.
Good night, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting your son a big overcoat and a beard to look like Hagrid. That's just happening.
It's one day. He's not far off. He'll be taller than me in no time, and he'll obviously grow better facial hair than me. I look like I'm trying to repair somebody's cable right now. Pretty rough. One of these days, I'll hit puberty.
Yeah, because that's it is. I love that part of every week when they come down and everybody.
It's all good.
So, Stevie, what are your next steps?
Okay. So I still have two more things I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
I've got time. Okay.
We got you time.
So the third thing is my trademark got approved.
Nice. That's great.
Yes. So Big Bentley's Pet Supply LLC owns Big Bentley's Pet Supply.
Nice.
That's the trademark.
That's a big step. That's really important.
Yeah. It took forever.
Mm-hmm.
I applied for this back in March. But I went through the steps. I had a couple things that was wrong with my application, but after the attorney looked at it and everything was good, and I corrected some of the things that was wrong with it. They approved it, and now it's published in the Trademark Gazette. That they run that for, I think it's for a month. And so basically, if it's kind of like being at the wedding and anybody that says object, to object to the marriage or whatever. Yeah. It's kind of that phase of the trademark, but I believe January.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute. Who's getting married? What?
Yeah. So
this is
analogy for it.
So you have X amount of days from the time that they approve it. Somebody can object to it. Yeah. Then if it does get objected, it goes into review. But if not, it's approved.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I'm at the final steps of it. So at the end of January, it'll be approved. And with that, I'll actually be able to move on and get my product on Amazon. So that's what that's the next step. So I'm anticipating by the end of February, I should be very, very close to you being able to buy it on Amazon, which would be great for me because, with a full-time job, baby, all this stuff going on, I want to kind of take the FBA side of it, off my hands for now and let Jeff go ahead and take care of that.
Absolutely. Look, send out some pallets to Jeff Bezos, let him take care of it. Once you're on Amazon, it's a lot easier to also get into Walmart's marketplace, to get into, I think Kroger has a marketplace now. Like you can get into all kinds of distribution right now. David, you thought you were going to say something.
I was going to, but it didn't add to the conversation. So I want it just to be marked down. It's the first time I didn't say something and take us on a tangent.
Which tells you it must have been pretty bad if even David was like, I'm not going to say that.
It involves South Park, so
okay, good point. Yeah, let's save it. Let's save that.
No, this is for an after show.
Stevie, I got a question.
All right, last.
All right, last thing. Okay, Stevie, we've built this up. Here it is. This is your big time. This is your last thing. This is your close. This is your moment.
All right, here we go.
Put yourself in the zone and bring it.
All right. So, if you go to www.BigBentley'sPetSupply.com.
Yeah.
You will find me on there.
Nice. I was literally just going to ask you about your e-com, your website. Now, From functionality yet, or is it just a website right now?
No. It's an e-commerce. It's
nice.
E-commerce.
You got e-com set up?
Yeah. It's linked to my Square account.
Perfect. That's great.
Yeah. So, but I want to preface this with saying that there are some bugs. Okay, so we reached out to the software company. So when you go to the site, like some of the little icons are like displaced, and there's little things about it that it should be fixed. But hopefully in the next couple of days they'll be fixed.
Can you give me that website again? I'm trying to punch it in right now.
Yes, it's www.BigBentley's.
Bentley's with an S. With an S.
Put an S on it. Yep. BigBentley'sPetSupply.com.
Oh, Pet Supply.
Pet Supply. Yep. That's awesome. That's great. That's great news.
Yeah. And it's just kind of got like my mini origin story. It's got some pictures of the family and my dog. It's got a couple tabs. I got a home screen about. Yeah.
Bentley's Pet Supply. I see your trademark up there. Registered trademark. Yeah.
But I think it came out pretty good. I'm happy with it, especially for like the initial rollout. It's a real thing now. It's because I had enough foresight to go ahead and put the website on all my labels. Yeah. But I had that like 6 months prior.
No, that's great.
I'm gonna give you a huge high five right now because you've got your partners highlighted on the main page. Southern State, a farm-owned cooperative since 1923, right on your main page. And I think it's very, very important. This is from from a management standpoint and how you actually interact with a partnership, how it is you partner with other companies, to be able to be proud enough to say, I want to have their brand on my page because I'm selling my brand in their stores. And being selective like that about who actually makes your page will make a big impact later. So if I click this email right here, okay, all right, Steve, I got to get on to you, bud. I got to get on to you. Wes, go back to the other screen because we've cut Stevie out.
Well, he's still here. He can still hear us. I just didn't have it set up to.
So I have Big Bentley's Pet Supply at gmail.com.
Yeah.
We're going to talk after the show. It doesn't have to be tonight. If you're available, that's great. We're going to talk after the fact about getting you a proper domain. So you already own BigBentley'sPetSupply.com. Now it's time to get an email that ends with Stevie at or s.evans at BigBentley'sPetSupply.com.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It is a huge psychological thing. And for anybody who's wanting to actually push into a business, that's very important. I actually have news that once you're wrapped up, I'm going to talk with Wes because, he's been bullying me to do this for a while that I want to talk about. But that would be it. That would be the only thing is get there. I see your phone number here. For people who want to call Stevie tonight at 3 a.m., you can dial 859-404-1073. That's 859-404-1073.
It's on there. So I got a question, Stevie. So are you shipping nationally? Are you shipping
I am.
Globally?
No.
I don't need Amazon. I've got your website.
Yeah, exactly.
Big Bentley stain remover.
You do. Now, no. So, and just to be transparent, I haven't even announced this. Like nobody even knows
this even exists.
Dude, this goes out to like 50 million people. People are going to know about this.
It's true.
Yeah, like literally, I was kind of waiting. So I still have to kind of figure out like on the Square side of it. I'm trying to figure out how to basically you got to link a provider. So if it's the postal service, UPS, DHL, all that stuff, I've got to set up an account or whatever. But basically, if you go on there and you purchase it, I'll get a notification, have your address, your money will go straight into the Square account, all that stuff, and then I can just mail you the bottle from any carrier. Mm-hmm. But I want it to be a little bit more automated than that.
Yeah.
So I just got to do a little bit more research on just how to make it more seamless. Mm-hmm. I was actually supposed to have a meeting with the company that helped me set up the website. They were unavailable to meet today, so I'll get to that. But really, that's the only part of it, is the shipping. So I've got like the taxes loaded in there, right, and all that stuff is good. So, but yeah, and so those prices that I have, those are like my the prices that I'm going to sell them at. They're not across the board. They're not all that right now, but that's what it's going to be on Amazon and everything like that. In the future, when I do get it on Amazon, you're going to be able to click the link and it's going to take you to the Amazon store, as opposed to, me and then me ship it out.
Sure.
So, okay. Yeah, there's a couple things I want to talk to you about this because it's what we call wordsmithing, is literally going through every paragraph, every sentence, every form of the website and having all right, is this what we want to say? What's a better word? How can we say this differently? Things like that. Because right now, one of the things I see on here is trusted in pet supply since 2021.
Yeah.
And I think we can have some honest business speak that can actually aid your company back further.
Yeah.
Founded in 2021. Out of blah blah blah. There's ways to do that, and that's one of. Anytime you need somebody to talk bullshit, find a salesman.
So call David is what he's trying to say. He's a master bullshitter.
I spin everything. It's literally sometimes I get handed some of the absolute most ridiculous things, and I have to make people get excited about this price increase. So, anytime, and it's just open for anybody. Hit me up through the Book of Faces or the YouTubes or the wwws. And if you guys have something you're like, this is a sticky wicket that I need to work my way through, call me up. we will sit and spitball, and we will come out with a solution for that issue.
And if you don't know what a sticky wicket is, don't worry, you're not the only one. In fact, you do need to eat crumpets to know what a wicket is.
You got to know what a crumpet is in order to stay in cricket.
Exactly. It was a bad quote, but I was so close.
Wait, no, that's not a bad quote. What? Wait, go back to the main stage because
my ad lib on the quote was bad. That's what I meant.
Okay.
Not everybody knows Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie by heart.
I was going to talk to him. I was going to see if Stevie knew that. So last Stevie, I don't know if you were watching this, but we said we're going to see how many movie quotes we can get into something. And when he brought up the crumpets, that's actually you got to know what a crumpet is in order to stay in cricket. That's a quote from Raphael talking to Casey Jones in the very first live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
That was a classic.
It was a great one, man. And so I think it was great. I think it'll be a good show, and you're welcome to join us for that show. Oh, Shannon Black says, hello, Clarice. So, hello, Clarice. I mean, that's an easy one to get, right?
Yep.
I mean, it's not stumping anything. That's Silence of the Lambs, man.
Exactly.
Now
that Shannon Black is watching, we do have a direct line to get deer urine anytime you want. Shannon, you missed that part of the conversation.
He does milk them in his free time. Sorry, Shannon, you got hit. You got hit with that one.
But Stevie, that is great news. I'm very excited for you. So everybody watching or listening, go to BigBentley'sPetSupply.com and pick up a bottle of this stuff. We want to crash his website. We want to overwhelm you with these manual deliveries you still have going.
Down, right, no, up to the other side. There you go.
I don't know what you're doing over here.
Stevie Evans' name is at Big Bentley Supply. That's the name of it. You can get him on the Facebook, the YouTubes, the definitely LinkedIn. We've showed the power of the LinkedIn, and you can now visit his website, registered trademark, BigBentley'sPetSupply.com. Order the product and get it shipped straight to you. Stevie, I appreciate all the time that you spent with us here tonight.
Yeah, thanks.
And also, I appreciate everybody who can come on the show and actually deal with the format that we do, which is a lot more broken and less professional than what you're going to get at ABC.
Yeah, but we'll have you on again soon. We really want to talk about LinkedIn, what you're doing on there to self-promote and market and make contacts to get your product to different places. That's something a lot of people can learn from. So we're going to talk soon.
Yeah, and Dave, for real. So I would like to reach out to you and talk to you. This is just the initial thing. I really need to refine what I'm doing. I'm learning every day. So any feedback or anything you can give.
So West has this thing he calls the bat phone, and I think I'm going to adapt that as well for people who the word I want to use in my day-to-day business is brand ambassador.
There you go.
I really want to help brand ambassadors. And I get it, you're the owner of this, but right now you are also the only or key or primary brand ambassador of your product.
Yeah.
So I think I will share my personal line, my bat phone line, as it were, for you, definitely not live on here because I don't want all these weirdos calling me. But I'll give it to you. We'll talk after the show. I want to give you the number. You can call me. We can set up a Zoom meeting, Skype meeting, Teams meeting, whatever it is. We will go step by step through everything. Now, this I do because I work my job is not 9 to 5, but throughout the bulk of the day, I'm doing what I normally do. So at evenings, weekends, things like that.
Yeah.
2 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes I'm sadly up doing stuff. Those times we can work something out, we can hammer that stuff down, and we can take you as far as the business management and the sales end of it to not just the next level. We're going to set our goal because I'm a big idea guy. I want the goal a mile high, and we're going to run towards it no matter what.
Yeah, hey, I love it.
Shannon Black says, I want to call you at 3 a.m. and just breathe. So that's absolutely lovely. Stevie, I can't thank you enough for being on here.
Yes.
I appreciate
if you
it.
want to hang on watching the podcast here for a while, we'll be off. And then, of course, we usually do kind of at least a 15, 20-minute. Sometimes it goes longer after show, the mastermind that we call it. It used to be called the Underdog After Dark. We've went away from that, and we don't broadcast this one. So we can talk to you there, okay?
Yeah. I'll hop back on. I'll hop off for now, but I'll jump back on in about an hour.
All right, great.
Hey,
all right, Steve, I appreciate it. Congratulations on the kids. Stop doing it. And also, congratulations on all the work.
Yeah, man, you've worked hard, obviously. So that's great. That's great news.
I appreciate it. All right, see you guys.
Hey, see you later, man.
Okay, Captain.
Dude, his business is blowing up. That is.
I tell you, and this is a perfect example of do it.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Get out there and just do it. Make those contacts. Call people. And just make it happen because he is proof positive that it works.
It does work. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it.
Honestly, everybody watching and listening, go to BigBentley'sPetSupply.com and check out the product. And I'm telling you, this stuff works. I have a bottle of this stuff, and I mean, it gets out. It's enzymatic, so like there's no harsh chemicals. It's safe for your kids, safe for your pets, and it gets everything. It's nuts how good this stuff is.
Yeah, so it's crazy is there are two products that we know that people who run this
it's
similar.
True. We have another friend who has a similar product. Yeah.
I'm not afraid to talk about the name or anything because, I mean, that's a great guy over there too. Mm-hmm. But, and there's no comparison between the two. It's different markets, different way of bringing things, different mindsets.
Yes,
on
very much
the business. So. And both are successful. Both are doing what they need to do. And so we've got Rob's Rescue, which is something that I freaking love. I love that product, and I cannot wait because every time I go to Columbus, I'm like, shit, can I meet up with him so I can get some more of this? But I'm gonna be ordering some of this and give it a shot.
Yeah.
And get the other, and then to be honest, I kind of want to put them head to head.
Compare the two. I have
really. Head to head because I bet they're neck and neck.
I have a bottle of each right over here, and you're going to be in town next week. Let's. So here's what we got to do. Shannon Black, you need to supply some deer piss, and my wife is really annoyed, but we can make this happen.
I was getting ready to make a buck joke.
No. Yep. No. Well, so as for deer urine, because you and I.
Bucky's got all year.
Well, because after you and I have a few drinks and we come back to my place, I have a feeling if one of us has to supply the urine, it's going to be a bigger problem.
Whoa. You're sitting there talking about having a few drinks and going back to your place now.
Yeah, that came out wrong. that came out wrong. After we have a few drinks and David goes his way and I come back to my house completely alone. No, I actually did offer for David to stay on my couch. That's what it is. So I
will be in that week. I will be sleeping on West's couch.
It's completely above board.
Live podcast at 3:00 in the morning. Down there going, hey, we're back.
Yeah, my new cat will be sleeping on top of your head. So good luck with that. The new cat.
I'm just going to leave that comment alone.
The new cat?
Well, we're just moving on. So. You said you had a couple news stories earlier before we got rolling into this. Let's talk about a couple news stories because we haven't even touched the meat and potatoes of our show.
We want to touch the news topics
and go straight to the actual podcast, which is what we were talking about earlier.
Well, we haven't touched the main topic, and we're over an hour in.
I know. We need to get to it.
Let's get to the main topic.
So, I happen to be down at my local cigar hub.
Okay.
In Syracuse. And a couple of guys were in there, and they were talking about wanting to start some kind of a podcast. I said, funny enough, I actually run a podcast that's kind of aimed at helping people start podcasts and businesses and general things like that. And just before we go any further, I'm rocking tonight the shirt that says "Do Man Shit." It's from the Jeremy Sires.
That's awesome. He has a great YouTube channel, by the way. Anybody who doesn't know about it, find Jeremy Sires on YouTube. His channel is great.
Jeremy Sires over on YouTube. Check check it out.
He's no Shannon Black, but he's still pretty cool.
He's pretty cool. So he does a thing called Man Shit Mondays, and it's a great segment for him, and does well. He does a lot of other things. So he goes into a lot of things, but it's kind of all indoors most of the time. I think he did a car wash wax ceramic coat thing on his freaking monster ass truck he's got one time. But these guys I talked to on Monday, we're going over, hey, I'd like to do, something that a gentleman would do, but maybe, when a gentleman doesn't have to be a gentleman in a freaking morning coat with tails and a top hat.
Yeah.
What would a gentleman do? Well, a gentleman would go out to the woods and cook meats and things. So they actually want to do a podcast about doing things of that nature. So we bought the website, The Gentlemanly Way. I had him set up the Facebook group literally while we were there, and I drank a lot of bourbon. So we'll take that for what it was.
Right,
but
exactly.
We got into this. We started building this thing up. And, I said, I'll tell you what, we've actually talked about this stuff in the past, but we're going to rededicate a show to kind of bring that back in, that roadmap, that idea. And I shot it over with West, and West said, oh, yeah, I can. While I was working on the agenda, I was like, crap, this is just like this. So we were able to pull from our archives kind of exactly what we needed to see. West, what beer are you pouring right now?
Right now, I am pouring Hoppy Christmas from Brewdog.
Okay, so Hoppy Christmas. So this should be a darker.
Look at that.
Okay.
Beautiful head on that beer.
It was. See, one of the things you can see is if you don't drink it here in a couple minutes, that head should still be there. And that really goes on to the quality of the water. And I don't want to, I'm sorry, I'm using the wrong word for quality, the level of minerals and content in the water. The purer the water, the less heavy the water, that head is going to stay up a bit longer.
Phrasing. So this is Hoppy Christmas from Brewdog. And this is one of the ones I believe it is exclusive to their, I keep saying Nativity. It's not Nativity.
The baby Jesus would be very offended.
Not drinking Brewdog, although that would be a great marketing campaign. This is from their
Advent. Talking about me. When you send a lightning bolt, send it over there.
Their Advent. Look, no. I have proof. I have proof that's not going to happen because of this amazing Ben Franklin quote, which is one of my favorite quotes of all time. Beer is proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy. An actual quote from Benjamin Franklin, one of America's greatest action heroes. And I got this shirt from the Boston Tea Party Ships and Museum shop when we were there not too long ago.
Out there in the middle of the river.
It literally on the middle of the river.
It literally is in the middle of the river. And we talked about this during that show. Said, hey, when you punch in the address to go to this thing and it says, here, stop in the middle of the river, well, that's actually where it is.
Yeah.
It was something else. But anyway, so this new podcast that these guys are creating, I think it's going to be under the Gentlemanly Way. And they're going to bring, smoked meats. They're going to be, and this is out in the wild wilderness, camp fishing, hunting, just a plethora of manly shit. So I had to wear my Jeremy Sires do man shit today.
There you go. Nice. I like
Jeremy's a great guy, and I will not stop watching his shows. He's actually bringing his wife on more, doing things, and I really enjoy the shows with his wife because it gets an alternative view, and it's I'm going to sound a lot less manly, but her ideas mesh a lot more with mine.
Look, and my current wife isn't watching right now, so this isn't even for her. But I wholeheartly believe that behind every great man is a great woman. Like you need that support, and you get like you see both sides of the coin when you see that other side. So I think that's pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah. Having somebody in their sport, somebody to talk to, somebody to interact with is very, very important. But we're done talking. We're not done. Well, actually, I'm not done talking. Anybody who knows me knows I'm not done talking.
You're never done talking.
I'm never done talking. But let's take a moment and let's go back and look at the roadmap that we set forth.
Right. So just so everybody's aware, if you go to our Facebook page and you go to the About Us section, you'll see the website, which is underdogplus.com/journey. Now, what that's going to take you to is that's going to take you to a section where you can download our marketing roadmap. And in that is different, marketing tactics, techniques, platforms.
This right here specifically aimed towards, and it has a title of Podcast Roadmap.
Right. So in the marketing roadmap that you can download is various pieces of content. One of those pieces of content is something called the Podcasting Roadmap, which, as I was putting together today's agenda, like you said, David, we already had built. And this is something you can download. Has all the information you need about how to start a podcast, the different platforms you can use. It has paid versions if you want to get super advanced, or free software platforms that you can use to do all of this stuff. So we're just going to run through this quickly. I don't think we need to go through and spend another hour on this. We easily could spend another 3 hours on this. But again, you can download this.
Yes.
So this is all at your fingertips anytime you want. But, I always start every strategy and every execution model with who is your ideal customer? Who's your avatar? Which is why the first thing on here is identify your ideal listener and create a show that is based to serve that listener. So let's break this down real quick. Typically a podcast, a traditional podcast with the big quotes, is audio, right? Now, there is such a thing now as video podcast. Technically, there's always been such thing as video podcast. Actually, if you go back in the very early days of Apple's podcast.
I thought you were going to say his name.
Nope, not going there yet. In the early Apple's podcast service, there was the audio tab, and there was a second tab for video. You could actually download video content into your podcast player for Apple. But nobody downloaded the videos. The service was so underused that they just deleted it from the service altogether. So basically, because of that, podcasts became known as an audio platform. However, over the last few years, video podcasts like ours, David, have become so much more popular because of things like YouTube. YouTube, a lot of people are starting to post these on LinkedIn. We're going to have another LinkedIn show coming up very soon, thanks to Stevie. But, I
can't wait. I would say I'd hate to interrupt you, but I actually do enjoy interrupting you.
You do.
I can't wait until we can go live over on LinkedIn.
Well, we will. And again, the thing is to go live on LinkedIn, you actually need to be approved. Not just anybody can go live on LinkedIn. Now you can post videos. You can post videos on LinkedIn. We can post the videos there.
Where there's a Dave, there's a way. Yes, you're gonna see here. Wes loves to point out the one thing I failed at so far, and that was getting the freaking rights to you showing up to Boston. And I'm still working on that. Them assholes, they're gonna have that freaking song.
Not if you keep calling them assholes.
Well, they haven't responded in 6 months. They're assholes.
Oh, ouch. Okay, so let's move on.
I'll call that while I'm on the phone with them.
So let's move on. So basically identifying your ideal viewer or listener, right? And one of the great things is...
What?
Identifying your ideal viewer or listener, also known as an avatar.
Avatar. You know what? There is a reason, a very important reason why I stop and dwell on the avatar. The power of the avatar, the power and the insight that a properly fleshed out avatar can give you is unmatched.
Yeah.
You can take literally hundreds of thousands of dollars of one of the hipster guys there at the one place that liked the sign of market research, and throw it away if you take your time to set your avatar. And I mean take time.
Oh yeah.
Create the more rich backstory you get, the more understanding of who is I'm not saying who all is going to buy it, but who it is that you are selling to.
Right. Now,
your ideal customer.
Now, one of the great things is when you actually go to the section of the website to download this content, one of those pieces of content is the avatar builder. And that is a super, super amazing. Yeah, it's not even ours. It's actually a link to another service that does this. It's this free thing.
What they do.
But this is and this builds a customer profile specific down to the person's name, their hobbies, what they do for a living, how many kids they have, if they have a wife or a husband. And because you need to know this stuff. Because again, you are going to talk differently to a 20-year-old frat boy versus your grandma, right? And you need to know how to speak to them. You need to know how to market to each other.
You know what? From now on, every time we think of grandma or who you're talking to, in honor of the lady's passing, we're going to say, we don't speak to a 20-year-old frat boy the same way we speak to Betty White.
Well, there you go. Actually, you know what? I'll bet, considering her recent pop culture popularity, I'll bet a lot of people did speak to her like a frat boy. But I'm going to go to my grandma. I'm not going to go to my grandma, slam a PBR, and call her bruh.
All right. I want to keep a new countdown of how many times we say the word bruh on our show. And when we get to 10, we're done. We're out.
True. It's true. In fact, everybody, I'll go ahead and lay this out there. I'll put this on the table. Anybody watching or listening, if you actually use the word bruh in a legitimate sentence, please stop.
This is not your show.
This is not your show. But if this is your show, please stop, because this is a public service announcement. Don't say bruh.
Yes. The more you know.
Do. Yeah, exactly.
Bruh.
Bruh. Okay.
I mean, hell, I think
we're still on the first point here. So again,
back to the roadmap. Yeah.
The avatar builder, the custom profile builder, is actually there at the same place where you can download this PDF here. So
I recommend using it.
What's that?
I said I highly recommend using it.
Right. Absolutely. So the next thing is, and we're still in the planning phase. So this goes through the planning phase, the content production. This goes through.
Let's go back up real quick. There is one on there that talks about the persona, and I want to have 2 shows with Funkle Sam.
Ooh.
I want to have a show with Funkle Sam.
Okay.
And I have a show with Perry Casto, who actually is Funkle Sam.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So our intro music, Funking Up the Neighborhood, which is just the jive,
which is a great song. Once Funking Up the Neighborhood gets in your head, you can't get it out. That's a great song.
It is such a great song. You can't be upset listening to it. If you're having a crap day, that song will bring you out of your funk.
For those of you who don't know, it's the opening music to this podcast. So at the very beginning and at the very end, keep listening. You'll hear the song again. It sticks in your head. You can't get it out. You'll be singing it all the time.
It is wonderful. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. But when we talk about here on this is literally the number 2 box, you know, get your persona for the podcast, for the show. Luckily for West and I, our personas came from who we were, and many people telling us, "Dude, you guys should do a podcast."
Yeah.
And finally, us going, "All right, frig it, we're going to do it." So that's how this came out. It was just basically our natural person. But there are other things that you do, and like Funkle Sam, he has is that persona, and when he's in that persona, basically think about it as an actor in character. They don't want to break that character. They want to stay in that person, and that person's views, beliefs, attitude, actions, everything are, and I know it's hard to understand this for some people, are completely separate from the person who's playing them. It is, I know sometimes it's really hard to understand that, but I'm able to do it. I'm able to do the role play scenario where I take on, this whole other thing, and I might not be speaking to you when I talk. Yes. It is that in depth, and the more you get to know your avatar, the more you know how to speak to your avatar, which is what really helps create your persona.
Right. So the first thing you want to do is create your avatar. The next thing is think about the overall theme and persona of the podcast. Like David's saying, so you need to think of an idea for a podcast that's going to appeal to that specific audience. Because again, you're going to speak to a 20-year-old frat boy differently from how you're going to speak to your grandmother. So you need a show that is appropriate for that audience, right? So it's pretty obvious who our audience is. We're kind of all over the board, but generally speaking, it's anybody who would not find one or both of us obnoxious enough to turn off. That's our customer avatar.
To be honest,
if you've ever spoken with David, you know this is a very small niche.
Niche, yes. Our key demographic, who we actually connect with, has changed. We actually spent almost 4 months where our primary viewers were 65 years. 60 years and up. And well over half of them were female.
Right. So, and
old ladies.
And so later we'll actually get into analytics tools, and we'll tell you why a video podcast is actually more valuable than a strictly audio podcast. So when we're speaking here, we're talking about video and audio because both platforms are equally valid, but for different reasons, and we'll explain why.
Later on the Underdog Journey. Let's keep on going.
Yes,
all right, we're in the planning phase. We're in the planning phase. We don't need to go through these point by point. One of the things I always hated, and one of the things that both of us have said is we're not going to put up a PowerPoint or a demonstration and then just read what's on the screen.
Right. No, totally. So
you all know how to read. If you need help with this, you're welcome to reach out to us. Let's move on.
This is very off the cuff, but some of these are actually very important, and I do want to emphasize some of these. Like this point number 3, pick a unique keyword-rich podcast title. Now, why I think that's important is because what you name your podcast is very important. You can't have a podcast that is, about beer and call it, an afternoon with Joe, because that doesn't mean crap to anybody. When somebody's searching for
Joe, I don't want to spend an afternoon with you.
Right.
But if you want to go the hops of the nations, all right.
Right.
I might be on board with that.
Right.
Or
so you need
hashtag malt life.
Right.
I might be on board with that. So that's good. We're copywriting that. Hashtag malt life. I want a nickel every time I says it.
Thanks, Jay Jonah. So when you're naming your podcast,
a lot of people would have got, but I trust in West.
Always trust in West to know his. He watches way too much TV. I talk about myself in third person. That's a new for me. So get ready for that. Yeah, you just open that can of worms. So when you're naming your podcast, when you're coming up with titles, think about the searchability. That's why it says keyword rich. Think about how easy it's going to be for somebody to be able to search for your podcast, because nobody knows who Joe is, and they don't want to spend an afternoon with somebody they don't know. But they might want to hear your opinion on beer. They might want to hear so real life outdoors with Shannon Black. You know what? They probably like outdoors life, and that is a great title.
Yeah. To be honest, I would like to see a live show. And this is one of the things, too. You need to find out whether you want to do what your format is, which I think we have it on there.
Yes. Yep. So the next one, choose your podcast format.
The simplest, it's not even listed here, is are you going to pre-record or are you going to live? There are benefits. Yeah. There are benefits and downsides to either one of them. West and I do live podcasts.
Right.
Most people don't have the balls to do that.
Because
to put it blunt.
Live streaming is hard because when you screw up, everybody sees it. When you say something dumb, like nobody wants ding-dongs popping up during their live stream, everybody sees it and hears it.
And the hashtag ding-dongs has stuck with us so long. And I was like, I was literally just trying to mute my computer so it didn't have all the, because I get, not as bad anymore, but I used to get 200-300 emails in a day. And it constantly going on my computer. And I'm like, I want to mute this. I don't want to get ding-dongs popping up all the time. And Wes said, well, you don't want ding-dongs popping up on your live podcast. And that just, we are still hashtag ding-dongs.
It's true.
We actually had people bring us while we were presenting live at remote locations. Yeah, you still got a box.
I got a box right up here. Yeah.
People bringing us a freaking box of ding dongs. So there is definitely trade-off.
There is. So, but choosing a format though is super important. So, some people aren't comfortable speaking in front of a camera, and frankly, if you look at our first couple episodes, we were not comfortable speaking in front of a camera. It wasn't until we introduced the liquid lubricant that we actually got much better. But, things like interviews, if you just want to have a solo host, if you want, dual hosts like us, if you want to read from a script and have just not even show your face, just visuals like a lot of YouTube channels have. There are a lot of different formats, and you need to choose the format that's for you, because that's also going to be how your viewers or listeners associate with you.
Wait. You corrected yourself and you didn't have to.
Customers. I said customers because you don't want to think of your viewers as customers, in my opinion.
But see, this is for everybody who thinks West and I live this happy, harmonious life, but we never disagree.
Right.
The viewer, you all are our customer.
In a way.
That's who we're trying to reach. That's who we're trying to connect with. We want to talk with you, and that's who we want to buy our product. Sorry. I don't know how long ago this was, so if this comment is old, I'm sorry, but because I'm only on one screen tonight. Matt Harmon says, "Bring back Matt."
Yeah. By the way, Matt Harmon, that picture is got to be 40 years old, and I don't know who you're trying to chat with online, but way too young. That's all I gotta say.
Hashtag bring back Matt. So I will say this. We've actually, Matt's been kind of, background and done a few things. Matt Harmon has been a supporter of this channel since day one.
Yeah, Matt Harmon's great.
Who's been there, has been just a rock solid, tear your head off and piss down the hole kind of guy.
He is that kind of guy. He's passionate when he gets in an uproar.
Very brilliant, and
you almost can't even hold him back at times. He's so passionate.
Sometimes you got to hold him back. But man, I wouldn't trade him for anything in the world. He's a great guy, and his ideas. He is a lot like me. So naturally, I think he's a genius in the big idea world. And yeah, we know there are a lot of million different little pieces to make it happen, but that's not us. We want people to get that done, that enjoy that part of it. We want to be the guy that says, all right, here's an idea. And we're just fine with you taking that idea and making it your own.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of what we want to do here for you is if any of you guys ever need us in the planning stage, the content production of your podcast, we're going to support you. But we're going to support you, not our ideas. We're going to support you.
Oh, yeah, and we're not trying to sell anything. This is just what we do for fun. Like, literally, that's how this started. We just do this for fun. So
we did this. These conversations that you guys hear between us, we did this closing down more bars than I would like to count.
Oh, yeah, standing out in the middle of winter, snow falling down, we're freezing our back ends off, just talking about exactly the same stuff.
You get that cold where you're like, you shiver in, and then you're like, and then you shiver in. You're like, we've done that. We did that. And, we've had waitresses, waiters, hostesses, random ass people from the bar, people from other tables say, guys, you guys should really do a podcast. You guys should really put this in front of a camera. And last year, Wes called me up. He's like, Dave, let's do it. I'm like, frig it. Let's go.
Yeah.
And I said, what are we on? We got to be getting close to 80.
We're on number 87 today.
87?
I think it's 87. We on number 87 today? I think it's.
That sounds high. So, well, either way, we're over 80 episodes. 80.
No, I'm sorry, not 87. 78. My dyslexia took over. 78.
78.
I was close.
78 episodes into this, and it doesn't sound 78. Well, that's a lot, and we're talking every single week. Now, we bumped some of them to Thursdays kind of to meet with schedules like the National Corvette Museum and a few other things. that we have done that we've kind of pushed off to Thursday.
We haven't missed a week though. We've gone every week for 78 weeks in a row.
For 78 weeks. And I just bought the shirt from our own website that says consistency over time equals success. And that's probably going to be the shirt I start wearing more on the podcast. I will make sure it's ready to go every week so that I can wear that. And when I travel, I will probably pack that and take it with me, because I can't express enough how important it is to be consistent over time.
And no matter what you do, no matter what your interest is, that's the key. That's the key. So, back to the main thing. There are a few others on here as far as planning goes, average length, podcast logo, music, sound effects, things like that. That's branding. We can skip that. As long as you,
that's you. Go for it.
And it's up to your imagination. Have fun with it. And that's the key, also key. Make it fun. Make it something you like to do. One of the reasons Dave and I keep doing this is because it's fun. This is what we like to do.
It's fun. This is literally, this is West and I, both of us, this is our downtime.
This is literally what we do for fun.
This is I don't know that everybody will get this. I got the microphone here closer. This is it is our deep breath. It is the cleaning of the mind. It is that we do to relieve the stress of the work week, the family life, the businesses that we have to do day to day that weighs down on us. This is what we do to get rid of all of that stress.
Right.
This is our deep breath.
Right, exactly. So before we move on, it is super important to let you know, if you want to start one of these podcasts, if you want to start a video podcast especially, you need to have fun with it, because if it's not something you enjoy doing, it's going to fall off, and you'll say, oh, I'll get to it next week. And by the time next week comes along, life will happen, and you'll say, oh, it'll be next week. Oh, it'll be the beginning of next month. Oh, you know what? This quarter isn't good. And guess what? It'll never happen again. It needs to be consistent. If you make it a chore,
you won't do it.
Right. So you need to enjoy doing it. It needs to be with people you like. It needs to be a subject you like, because guess what? Even if you plan on making this a business, you will ask any podcast person, ask any YouTuber, you will spend at a minimum your first 100 episodes just to gain your first 100 subscribers. That's just the nature of the beast. It takes time. And guess what?
I have no idea where we're at.
Even if you can monetize. Well, yeah, and look, we can go into numbers on different platforms and talk about metrics, and we'll get in that. Yeah. But even if you monetize very early on, you won't make 2 pennies to rub together for a while. So it needs to be something you enjoy doing. You need to love the process. I hate to quote Gary Vee at this point, but you need to. You need to love the process.
Don't give me that horse crap. You love quoting.
I love quoting Gary Vaynerchuk. The problem is, look. I've been disenfranchised from Gary Vaynerchuk for a little while now, because guess what? He is really, really pushing hard on NFTs, and we need to do another NFT episode, because boy, there are some people.
You are flat out. And for everybody who's watched some South Park lately, do I not work next to Butters?
No, because how long have I been saying NFTs are a scam?
Scam, indeed.
NFT. Absolutely. Now look, NFT technology is the way of the future.
Blockchain technology.
Certain blockchain technology, right? So blockchain technology that has the capability of adding metadata to the blockchain.
Yeah, Ethereum.
Is Ethereum, which is where NFTs come from.
And whatever is born from the algorithm of Ethereum that's coming in the future that we don't know about yet.
Right. However, NFTs, you know what? If you just bought a GIF of a turtle with a hat for $30,000...
Did you buy it from Charles Ponzi?
I got a bridge to sell you.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes. Okay, so if you guys don't get that reference, the Brooklyn Bridge was sold multiple times from a gentleman selling the Brooklyn Bridge. Now, part of that actually stems from truth, because there are were storehouses under the Brooklyn Bridge that certain people could purchase to store. And one of the big things for that was alcohol and liquor. Unfortunately, during the Prohibition, that came, you couldn't do that. So people, one specific guy literally kept selling the Brooklyn Bridge over and over and over. Look it up, selling the Brooklyn Bridge. It's definitely worth it. It's definitely interesting enough to take a time to go look at.
Yep.
And from a sales tactic standpoint, I would want that guy on my team.
However, from a
legal standpoint, I don't want to take him.
Yeah. He would still be in prison if he were alive right now.
Yeah.
But so as far as content production goes in your podcast or video podcast, now all of the stuff on here is primarily based around audio podcasts, but all you need to add to this is a good camera, and essentially that's it. So as far as content production goes here, first thing is buy recording equipment and software to set it up, right? So first thing you're going to need...
Whoa. If you have a laptop, which most of us do, you don't even have to have a laptop.
You got a phone. You got one of these?
Yeah. I've got 3 phones with me right now. One of them is just my backup. I got my note. I actually switched over. This is a quick. I switched over to this here doodad thing that opens up.
That's pretty cool.
The Fold.
Yeah.
Phone. And if any of you guys are interested, these things are awesome. These things are awesome. But back to it. You don't actually need to invest too much into it to get started.
You don't.
Need to invest is your heart, your soul, your mind, and the name of your firstborn child.
Well, look. So here's the thing. You need look. We'll talk about video podcasts. If you want to do a video podcast, you need 2 things. As far as the hardware go, you need a camera and you need a microphone that are connected to a computer. So you have all of that right here in your phone, right? But here's what you need to remember. People will forgive poor audio or poor video quality. They will not forgive poor audio. Even on a video format like YouTube, if the video quality sucks, as long as the audio quality is good, you're still going to get decent views. But if the audio quality sucks, people will not sit through it. Metrics over and over again show they will not sit through poor audio. So
just on this, because Wes and I, we do touch bases quite a bit because first of all, Wes and I are friends. We're brothers. When he goes to the bathroom, he calls and tells me about it, right? So
we have worn the same outfit on the show before.
We have worn the same outfit accidentally on this show before. But during our podcast, which is the highlight of our 2021 year, was the Green Dragon. And both of us lament.
Oh, it kills me.
Video, we lament the issues that we had with the audio because of how important it is for people to have that audio. So, I run on when I'm not with us and we have our professional Audio Technica and the mixer, the Behringer mixer and all the stuff that we have. But I run a Yeti, what the hell, a Yeti Blue mic.
Yeah.
Which, back when I bought it, this was a $200, $250 mic. I don't even remember. I got it on sale. It was a great bargain. I think I only paid like $180 for it when I bought it. But it gives me the ability to do a lot of changes. As you guys heard earlier in the show, I can adjust the gain, the different styles of microphone, and then I've got another knob back here that I plug my headphones in to the mic, so that I've got a separate control for these headphones here too. For those of you who don't know, I'm stone cold deaf in this ear, in my right ear. Can't hear a damn thing. So I count on everything to come through here. So I love this. So basically what this is, those of you who now are listening to me from the MacBook, because I just unplugged the damn thing from pulling on it. And they're back, is that this is a audio input. For us old guys who used to plug into DIMM and SIM slots inside of a computer, this is my audio board. This is my sound board. So I plug it in.
You continue there. You continue there for a second. I heard I'll be right back. I heard something. I'll be right back.
Do your thing. So we utilize some free software. We utilize some paid software, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go spend and invest a lot of money into the technology. Eventually, you will get to that point where you're like, all right, I'm at this level now that I want to take it to the next step, and that next step will bring you, a little bit of investment and a little bit of investment, and on and on and on and on, and you build it up over time. But there is nothing more important to starting your podcast, to starting your hair bow business, to starting your cricket business or wood burning business, any of them. It doesn't matter what the business is. You have to start. If you want to be a photographer, be a photographer. Map out your clientele. Let's say you want to be a photographer that is aimed at the, I'm going to call it my generation, my ilk, the just kind of middle class-ish. We're getting through, we're getting by. We don't really want to spend $1,000 on a photograph shoot with Vogue models. We want to spend maybe couple hundred bucks to get good family pictures. There are ways to market yourself by building your avatar to that, but none of it matters unless you actually start, and that's huge. So, before we even get into this thing, is you have to dedicate yourself to saying, on this day is when I'm going to start. No ifs, ands, or buts to whether I'm ready or not. I'm setting my ass in front of a camera or a microphone or both, and that's as simple as that. So, we keep on going here, and unfortunately, I can't control his screen from my location, but it says find a quiet room with dry acoustics. Now, one of the things about that is, again, we've talked about the importance of the audio. You don't want to have sound propagation from your voice is coming out in a cone in every direction. Based upon the shape of your mouth, the words that you're forming, that cone does actually change shape, but in the most part, it's going to stay relatively consistent for modeling purposes. So what we don't want is for you to be speaking and catching reverb off of a solid concrete block wall, a piece of glass, a window. So broadcasting in front of a window or a mirror or something along those lines, probably not the best of idea. You need to be set back from it, because you don't want to have repeated sound propagation coming back from the mirror or hard surface to you. And that's why in this here, in the content production, we go into saying, hey, find a quiet room with dry acoustics. We want the sound to die upon the walls.
Right.
So if you're in there, close the curtains. When I speak at in my spot back in Syracuse, mm-hmm. I speak at an angle away, because anybody who this is exactly how nerdy I really am. Anybody who understands Newtonian law knows that objects are repelled off of a flat surface at the angle opposite to which they came in. So if I came in at 35 degrees over here, I'm going to leave at 35 degrees on the other side. That does hold true with a sound wave. So and the way I speak is it pushes that sound over here and it dies.
Right.
If it didn't die, I would be putting sound dampeners in and things. And to be honest, mm-hmm. I probably could get away with a few sound deadening items in my office where I normally podcast from.
Yeah, that's totally true. So, in fact, what you'll see with a lot of people, in fact, it's interesting to see this behind David also. A lot of people who do YouTube videos or video podcasts, they'll actually have the corner of the room behind them because of that same thing, because the audio, it reverberates differently coming from that corner. But also you'll see things like the sound dampening foam on the walls, the kind of zigzaggy shape in the foam. In fact, you can't see it here, but actually behind this bookshelf here is some of that sound dampening foam as well. Because
we can see some of the lines back there of the sound. So some of it are flat slots. Mm-hmm. And if you were to take this into an anechoic chamber, that would be the ideal situation for it.
Right. Because, I'm in a house, right? I'm in my studio. So there are all kinds of background audio sources. I have my mini fridge right here for my beverages. I have an air filter over here for when I'm having a pipe. I have air ducts everywhere. So these are things you need to consider as far as clean audio goes. And I apologize for stepping away. I heard a loud crash at the front of my house, and apparently the wind blew the American flag off the front of my house, and it set off my motion sensors and made a big crash. It was a whole thing, so I apologize.
That's all right. We forgive you. They got to listen to me nerd out about audio propagation. So to be honest, the viewers were the real winners on that.
Clearly the winners.
So just so people understand this, my day-to-day job actually includes being able to model sound propagation intelligibility.
Wow.
So, when it comes to things like that, and we were going down the list there, and I was like, I don't have control, so I can't scroll and get to the next section of the screen there, but I can talk about what's on the screen. And we talked about how you get into a quiet place. And, nothing is more important than, you want good, clean audio. Okay? That's just all there is to it. Both West and I, what we have, because you guys have been part of it, we have broadcasts from some pretty noisy freaking locations. And what we do? Oh my Lord!
Look at that beautiful chocolatey. Look at that.
Okay, can I tell the story
about chocolatey head?
Well, actually, yes. So we're up in Worthington, Ohio, and we're talking a year and a half. I don't even remember how long ago it was. Maybe 2 years at this point.
Okay.
Might have been even more.
Wait, you're not going to tell that story.
Yes, I am.
You're not telling. This is a family show, David.
So next time on the After Dark, you guys can join us.
Go ahead. Tell it. It's too late now. Now you have to tell them.
Okay, so I've already given the bait. All right. So we're out, and I'm drinking. Look how flat that went. Anyway, I'm drinking a lager or whatnot, and I had a few of them, and you and a couple other guys were with us, and you guys were drinking this Kitka coconut milk stout.
Yes. Oh, so good.
Now, before we go into what stupidity I did, that beer is delicious.
It is.
It does bring coffee. It really brings the chocolate notes, and you get this hint of toasted coconut that covers the whole thing. Not necessarily is a powerful flavor in when you start breaking down the profile. It's there. You got to go through the coconut, and then you get into all the things elsewise, the caramels, the chocolates. And yes, I'm flat nerding out about beers. And this is from memory from 2 years ago. So they these beers, and they have beers that look like that right there, right what West has. These gorgeous thick heads on them, and I'm like, all right, fine. So all the guys at the table were like, Dave, you got to try this. You got to try this. It's absolutely phenomenal beer. So I'm like, all right, I'll have a Kit coconut milk stout. Kit Kat being the brewer, coconut milk stout is the actual beer. How is it?
Oh my gosh, dude, this is BrewDog's Headless Honcho. I don't know if this is one of the exclusive ones to this box or not, but this is their horchata stout. Okay,
now based upon your face and the way you looked when you drank it, I really hope it's not a restricted one, because I'll be over there next week, and if I can get my grubby little paws in that,
I'll tell you, I've not seen this one in stores, but if you can find Headless Honcho from BrewDog,
I will go to BrewDog. I got no problem with that.
This is amazing. This is, again, if you like, so do your research on horchata. It's not for everybody, but this horchata stout, it's ridiculous. It's 8.5%, but just, it's like candy. This is dessert. This is what this is.
Well, so it's similar to that right there. It was like a dessert beer. So she brings me back a beer, and the label, and it's all the way filled up, right? But it's got like this little itty bitty teeny tiny foam ring around the top of it. I do not think of things the rest of the way the way the rest of the world does.
No.
When I'm in this box, when I'm in my beer box right there, I'm talking about beer. So this poor young lady comes over and brings me this beer. And I looked at it, and I'm like, why didn't you give me as good as head as you gave them? So West, and we're going to call this guy Charlie, on the other side, are looking exactly like West is right now, just flabbergasted. And I was just talking about, because I'm like, I love the smell of the beer and the aromas, and the head actually, it releases a lot of the carbon dioxides and things like that. It really brings a good, flavor and head profile to the beer. And I'm not thinking about this at all of the other way. I'm thinking about it solely from a beer drinking perspective. And she's like, much to this lady's absolute high fiveness.
Look, she was a true professional, much more than any of us were that night.
Didn't miss a beat.
Didn't blink.
I didn't pour this one. One of the bartenders poured it. She did her thing. She went off and done, what she does. And we're just sitting there talking. It was business stuff. We had a different type of business that we were talking, but we were talking business stuff. And about 5 minutes later, I'm just like, oh, yeah, it's really good, really good. Holy crap, why did you guys let me say that to her? What the hell were you thinking? Oh, my God, I bet she hates me. So finally, the young lady comes back over, and I am just foot in mouth. I'm like, oh, my God, I'm sorry. I didn't even think about what I freaking actually said to you. I was literally talking about the beer. And again, to her ever-loving kindness, she was like, I didn't think of it any way either. You were talking about the beer, and you forgave me instantly, but that is an ongoing joke that will absolutely never die.
We could not believe what you said. You asked the waitress forgive me, you asked the waitress for good head. And both the other guy, he's sitting next to me, David's sitting on the other side. And we both kind of stopped like,
yeah, they're looking at each other and everything. And I see them looking at each other, and I'm just going on and on about the business that we have at hand and not thinking about it at all. Literally not thinking about it at all. And then literally 5 minutes later, I hear it. I guess I hear it from a third-person view in my head going, something's going on here. You did something wrong. And I was like, oh, shit. And so yeah. But that was with a good stout beer. So I have been almost, I don't want to say on a mission, but I have been looking and searching pretty hardcore for the Kitka, which is a brewer, milk stout.
Yeah,
which we'll like you were saying right there, is freaking delicious. Is dessert.
It is. Oh, it is. So you're going to be in town next week. Well, not for this podcast, but afterward you'll be in town next week, and we'll try and find you some.
Yeah, I'll be in Buffalo next week for the podcast.
Yeah.
So that means I will have access to. I haven't booked my room yet, but I will have access to, because I stay right around the corner from it, the Buffalo Hofbrauhaus.
I'm jealous. Look, I'm jealous because you're not only Steinmaster at Columbus's Hofbrau. You're a Steinmaster at Buffalo's.
Yes, and I think I'm going to go ahead and get Steinmaster.
I love our Hofbrau here, but their Steins over there are way cooler.
Yeah, they have the lids.
They have the computer lids.
It does cost more to join.
Yeah,
but I'm going to go ahead and join the Steinmasters membership in Pittsburgh, and the Steinmasters membership down in Lexington, or not Lexington. In Kentucky, right across the river from Cincinnati there. Probably the one up in Cleveland. Any one of them that have it, I think I'm going to go around and break it up around the year and join their Steinmasters membership. Because, all right, guys, I travel a lot. I see a lot of businesses. I see a lot of things. I see some people who succeed very well. I see some people who struggle to succeed. And then I see a lot of people who fail. That's just the nature of business.
Yes.
One of the things that I have noticed, and West, I've told you this many times, and this is for everybody out there who's wanting to start their business, their podcast, anything. Exclusivity. When you actually boil down to your niche, and yes, that is the way it's pronounced, when you boil down to your niche and you are serving that thing and you are being exclusive, you are going to drive interest, which is you can charge a premium for it. Do you think it's free to be a Stein Master? No, it is not. It is limited, and there are many people who get on wait lists that are 1,000 people long to get to it.
Oh yeah, the Stein Masters Club in Columbus here. I mean, there's a waiting list a mile long.
Yes, and
that wait list makes people want to join even more.
Not to pump my own influence on that, but I push that Stein Masters membership everywhere. You got to do it.
Yeah, you're totally right. And look, so
I see what Matt Harmon.
For those of you listening,
go ahead.
Yeah, for those of you listening, Matt Harmon, one of our regulars. Who, Matt, you're right. You do need to come on again sometime. Ever notice how chatty Dave gets towards the end of the show and how mellow West gets? I think that is because of how much each of us responds to this right here. Our liquid courage, as it were.
What number are you on? 3?
I'm on number 4. Rick Graham, unless it's Lois, they share an account here on Facebook, says... You're a Steinmaster Meister, which I totally agree. Look, here's the funny thing. And here's the funny thing. So David actually, he does so much business in these areas and goes to these places so much and brings clients to these places so much that not only the staff, but like the owners of these areas know David. So when he comes in, like they know him. Like they keep his stuff in private locations that normal people don't have access to. He gets services that normal people don't get because he frequencies these places. I can't even speak.
I'm going to go even further, and I talked about this earlier.
Yeah,
I talked about this earlier in the podcast, and hopefully this will refresh some of the stuff. They do all this stuff for me. Literally, when I walk in the door, one of the people stay at the check-in. The other one runs and lets everybody know that Leffingwell is here. That's just how it goes. And they come in and they say, the one sitting there trying to take care of me, the other one's going and letting everybody know that I'm there. The reason for that is because I am such a brand ambassador for their business.
And that's it too. And being a brand ambassador to someplace that you actually really care about, someplace that you're really passionate about, goes a long way. Because when you are a good ambassador for them, if they're a company, they'll be a good ambassador for you. They will share your name as much as you share theirs.
Absolutely.
That's why we work so well with so many of these companies and people that are genuinely our friends. Look, Stevie Evans, the guy that we had on earlier. He's the owner and founder of Big Bentley's Pet Supply. He's not just like a guy that we have on. I consider him a friend. We're gonna have him on, and we're gonna speak with him a lot more in the future because he's not just some guy that we talk to about business.
And we cheer for him and we root for him.
Absolutely.
And we want to see him succeed in every aspect. We want him to go.
Yeah.
And you guys heard me today.
Yeah.
Talk to him and say, hey, I don't like the fact that you're using a Gmail account, and I don't like the fact that you want to run a radio ad, because I don't think if you really push through your avatar, I don't think these two things are going to mesh up.
Right.
Being able to be honest with somebody about something they're doing is very important. Yes, I think the guy is a champ.
Right.
And if to be honest, if I really was if he was anywhere close to me and I was trying to run a business, I'm taking that guy.
Oh, look, 100%. And here's the best thing. Look,
I'm not paying him.
When you work with somebody to the point that you can actually be honest with them about an initiative that they have, and you can say, you know what, maybe you should rethink that idea. That is a good, not just business partnership, that's a good partnership.
which is one of the reasons you and I work so well. Wes doesn't.
Dude, we rip on each other all the time, and you know what? It's in good faith, and
yes,
we also have this rule of safe
honest
space.
feedback.
Safe
yes.
space. We can come to each other with the most bat crap crazy ideas, and look, we may laugh, but we'll at least hear each other out.
Yeah, yes, you've been very kind about that.
No comment.
For anybody who wants to know more, join us later. Actually, I don't know. It's 9:00.
Well,
I don't know if we're doing
here's another example before we hop off, though. Jenny's Pleasure Bus. JennyCalson.com hopped on and said,
"It's not Jenny's Pleasure Bus.
Jenny's Pleasure Bus." So here's a great example. We're going to do a show. Jenny, if you're watching, at some point, whether you come up here or eventually we come down to you, we will do a show from your Pleasure Bus. Because everybody watching and listening, go to Just Bussin' Around on Instagram, and her content is super.
They got it on Facebook too, because I was on Facebook earlier today, and I actually sent her a message earlier today and said, "Hey, I kind of want to update. I want to kind of see what you're doing." Because one of my other friends had a friend who bought a bus and it's actually kind of decked out and doing the stuff, and I was like, "Oh damn, I'd really like to see what's going on with the Pleasure Bus."
Yeah,
and. For those of you guys who don't know, you got to start at episode 1 and watch all the way up to this point multiple times.
Yeah.
Give us, and you'll get the joke from the Pleasure Bus. But in the meantime, I called. What the hell? I got a hair in my hat somehow.
You live with 2 females with long hair. I also live with 2 females with long hair, and I know it gets everywhere. So
yeah, but it just started dripping down in my eye here. But anyway, I went online earlier today and they had an update. I think they changed out like the emergency hatch to like a skylight looking thing. It's really freaking cool.
Yeah.
So definitely just go over to Just Bussin' Around. I think you said it's on Instagram. It's definitely on Facebook because that's where I found it today. And take a look. It's really, really cool. And I'd love it. I can't wait to do a broadcast from. I got to do this right.
Yeah.
Jenny's Pleasure Bus.
Well, look, so here's something that I was going to talk to you about on a different conversation, but since I've had a few drinks, I think now's a perfect time, obviously.
Wait. Monday to me proved that might not always be true.
No, I was actually thinking about having a collaboration. So my company is Underdog Bones. So UnderdogPlus.com.
Matt Harmon's banging off, so wait. Holy crap. Matt Harmon's getting offline. So thanks, Matt, for being such an avid supporter of our channel. We actually really appreciate all that you've done, and we want to have you on here. Wes, let's talk about your bone again.
Luckily,
yes,
my current wife doesn't actually watch the show anymore. No, I was actually, so my business is Underdog Plus, which our main product is Underdog Bones, which are a small batch dog bone made from spent brewer's grains, and dogs go bat crap crazy for this stuff. And
okay. All right, I gotta, I've done this in the past. I've talked about my dog's reaction to these treats. Now I've got a place up here in New York. Well, I'm actually in Boston, but in Massachusetts. But up in New York that I go, and they have basically what West has. My dog likes them. Don't get me wrong. My dog's an Australian cattle dog. They like anything that's food based, or not food based. But when she sees that package, she and I don't know if you guys know, the Australian cattle dogs are like smarter than most of the people who watch our show.
That's true. I agree with that.
Actually, they are 100% smarter than the people who host our show. They are ridiculously smart. And when she sees that package that I get from West, I mean, it's I can't hide them. So she knows who they are, and she wants them, and goes absolutely nuts for them.
So I'll go into details later about the nutrition, the science behind what makes it work. But so I actually want to do a collaboration with Jenny on she and Pleasure Bus is a joke because originally she had Leisure Bus, which is more accurate. So it's a leisure bus.
No. I asked her, is this a leisure bus? Leisure, because I watch a lot of old
And
British
you misread it as pleasure.
She typed in pleasure bus with a P. I went back to the archives. I verified this. She put in pleasure bus. It was accidental because I said leisure. She must have thought I said pleasure and put in pleasure bus. And Jenny's pleasure bus was born.
It was born.
We have the URL. If you guys want to buy Jenny'sPleasureBus.com from us, just let us know. And also let us know what content you're thinking of putting on there.
But
don't worry, we know.
Exactly. So here's actually where it all comes together. So I actually am looking to expand my kitchen area to make these things. So to do so, I can do so here in my studio, and it's going to get pretty cramped pretty fast. Or I was actually debating doing a mobile kitchen where I get a leisure bus, right, and put the kitchen equipment there, and actually go to events, rescues, go to farmers markets, and actually have the kitchen equipment in the bus there, have the bus fully branded, and sell this stuff straight from there at these different locations. And to do so, obviously, Jenny Carlson has the inside knowledge to actually build out these buses and these trucks in this way. And she'll be, I already guarantee she'll be very humble about how it goes, about her knowledge there, but she is a wealth of knowledge in this information. So we will probably talk about that very soon. But she actually just said, I was just telling our vet about your treats. And Jenny, I'm curious about what your vet said. Apparently they didn't shoot me down too much.
Well, it'll be a great time, and I think it would be a good show, but we've been going for freaking 2 hours. 2 hours and 5 minutes.
Yeah, so hey, actually our main topic of the show was the podcast roadmap.
Yes, the podcast roadmap, which you can find at...
So, one way, if you go to underdogplus.com/journey, or go to our Facebook page. On Facebook, look up the Underdog Journey, and go to the About section. There's a link directly to this site. So go click on the link, you enter your email, and again, it's just for demo purposes you have the email. We don't do anything with it. It just gets stuck in a folder somewhere. I don't sell it.
Yeah, we don't email anybody.
Literally, just enter a dummy email and it's going to work. You'll get access to the to this page, download all this stuff, including the podcast roadmap. And here you will have detailed information about everything you need to start a podcast, a video podcast. And man, look, if you still have questions, message us. And I promise you, David and I will get back to you in short order. And this is what we do for fun. So we will do it, and we'll do it all for free, and we will help you set up your entire thing.
Yeah.
The only thing we'll ask is maybe we want to have you on for a show, because we want to talk to you about your process.
We want to talk to you, we want to cheer you on, and we want to see how you're doing. But this is the Underdog Journey. I've been Dave. He's been West. Wait, by the way. He's been West.
And we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next week.
Basically infatuated with the in-between, the ups and downs, the curves and the rounds. I'll bring it to your city or your hometown. I'll go back in time when the feeling was fine, when funkin' was legal and it wasn't a crime. Party people lined up and down the way, a bigger celebration than your birthday. Funkin' up the neighborhood, I felt the fool 'cause the funk was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. neighborhood. I felt full cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood.